So I want to start off by saying I'm not like a diehard Call of Duty fan. The last one that I really got into was Black Ops 2. And so this looked like a good time for me to kind of just jump back into the series. But now that I've spent some time with the game, there are some issues with it. It was a very, very buggy game, even, after the beta tests and that kind of thing that they released. Like, I've gone through multiple games, playing, like, zombies, where I was going for the round 100, Dark Ops achievement. I got to round, like, 83 with a friend, and then the game would just disconnect us from the server, without warning. We just black screen for no reason. And this game has all kinds of connection issues that are really, really annoying to deal with. Especially if you're trying to go for achievements or challenges and that kind of thing. And then speaking of those, the game also has, unfortunately, a really bad matchmaking system. It's basically skill-based matchmaking, which is designed to kind of, like, I get what they were going for. It's designed to protect the lowest common denominator, but at the same time, it punishes people for being good at the game, and it forces, like, I don't have a problem playing with people on my skill level. I'm not, like, the best player, but I'm not the worst. I have about a 1.5 KD, but it basically means that you just, you can't come home, just relax, play a few games, and go to bed. Like, you have to play every game now like you are playing a tournament, and that is really stressful. It's going to lead to a lot of burnout. People are just going to drop the game. In fact, I think a lot of big, like, YouTubers and streamers and that kind of thing have already dropped the game and have gone back to things like Warzone, not only because the, movement and things like that are just better in Warzone, but because skill-based matchmaking is really, really strong in this game, and it really hurts the experience. There's no ranked mode. I'm not sure why the game launched without a ranked mode, and they thought skill-based matchmaking was going to be okay for casual public matches. But that's where we are now, unfortunately. So that's kind of the state of the matchmaking. The current, like, roster of guns I have no issues with. There's, like, 5 assault rifles, probably around the same amount of submachine guns, 2 different shotguns. The problem with the shotguns, I don't know why they let you have shotguns as a secondary, because they're just one shot, so when you run out of ammo, you just switch to your shotgun and you're fine, in those tense situations. The shotgun can pretty much get you out of a lot of situations. Like, they should have been primaries. I don't know why they made them secondaries. So there's that, and then snipers in this game are really, really overtuned. Like, quickscoping in this game is out of control. And honestly, like, when you're just trying to sit down and play, but you're getting quickscoped by, like, 3 to 4 different people just constantly, it's an exercise in frustration, and it makes me want to just, like, throw my controller out the freaking window sometimes. Like, the amount of sweat in some of these lobbies is insane. So that's the multiplayer experience in a nutshell. Because of skill-based matchmaking, it really hurts the experience. The snipers are really overtuned. Shotguns should not be secondaries. And then, when you're talking about multiplayer, I feel like you should talk about the maps, because, that's what you're going to be playing on, and that's what's important. Like, you have to actually like the maps, and you have to learn them. You don't have to like all of them, but, that's what you spend the majority of your time in this game doing. This game launched with probably the fewest amount of, like, actual maps that I've seen. First off, we have Armada, Cartel, Checkmate, Crossroads, Garrison, Miami, Moscow, Satellite, The Pines, Nuketown, and Raid. So the 2 new ones in this one that launched with Season 1 would be the Pines and Raid. Those are both great maps. I loved Raid in Black Ops 2. The Pines is an interesting one as well. Nuketown, obviously, ever since the original Black Ops, everybody's loved that map. That's always been one of my favorite maps. So those are all good. The default maps in this game, though, like, I believe, like, 2 to 3 of these are just kind of reskinned to work in 6v6 from bigger maps, you know, being, like, Crossroad and Armada. So the ones that are basically made just for multiplayer, there's not that many. There's maybe, like, 5 or 6, and those ones just aren't that great. Like, outside of, like, Checkmate and Garrison, like, the original maps are just not wonderful. You know, they still stick to the traditional 3 lanes that's been in pretty much every Call of Duty. The map design hasn't really improved much, unfortunately. And I don't think that that's gonna change anytime soon. I also kind of wanted to talk about a little bit about the score streaks because, I don't know, they're not the best. Like, you know, you have your standard, you know, RCXD, UAV, you know, napalm, cluster missiles, which the cluster strike is probably like the most overpowered kill streak so far. Like, it's like the Predator missile from Modern Warfare 2, but you can get like 4 kills with it. You know, they have the chopper gunner and, like, the gunships. The problem is, like, those things get shot down so fast in this game that, like, I don't even think that they're worth putting on. Like, the War Machine, honestly, is probably better. And, you know, they bring back, like, napalm and sentry turrets. Like, I don't know. It really makes it feel a little unrewarding, you know, when you do all the work to get, like, a gunship or a chopper gunner and it literally gets shot down in 2 seconds. So because of that, I don't even want to run them. And so, like, most of the time now, I'm just running, like, UAV, napalm, cluster strike. Just because the fragility of these score streaks, they take a lot of points to get. Like, 10,000 points is for the gunship is no joke. And you get the gunship, and then it just gets shot down. And it can just be really frustrating, you know, to, like, actually be doing good, and then, you know, think you're going to be rewarded for doing good, pop your kill streaks, and then everything just gets shot down, and, you know, you can't even use them. As always, operators make their return. I'm not super into operators and skins and what my character looks like, so, like, I don't know, it doesn't do a whole lot for me. I know some people are really into, like, you know, customizing their characters and what they look like. For me, I just don't really care, but I'm glad that the option is there for those who do. And just to add on to character customization and that kind of thing, of course you can customize your calling card and your emblem. I do really, really miss, like, being able to actually, like, make your own emblem from, like, you know, just like you could in Black Ops 2. I understand why they got rid of it, but it's just a missing feature that, like, I really enjoyed, and I really kind of do wish they'd bring it back in some capacity. And then I just wanted to talk a little bit also about the microtransactions in this game. The microtransactions actually, I'm glad to say, are much, much better than they have been in the past. Like, I remember playing World War II and trying to play zombies, and you literally just buy, like, pack-a-punched weapons and that kind of thing. Like, the loot boxes in that game were crazy. Fortunately, in this game, there is no loot boxes. The microtransactions return in the way of the Battle Pass, you know, which is kind of like, you know, you buy the Battle Pass and you level it up, and as you level it up, you get rewards unlocked. And I think that's okay. You know exactly what you're getting and when you're going to get it and how much work you need to put in to get to it. It's not a loot box. Thank freaking Christ. Like, everybody is so tired of loot boxes at this point. And if this is the way that they're going to continue, you know, with their microtransactions, I'm actually okay with that. As for the Zombies mode, Zombies is a game mode that, you know, like, I understand it gets a little repetitive and it's not everybody's thing, but it was a game mode that I used to play just, you know, by myself when I was at home. I just wanted a casual experience. I just wanted to kind of sit down and chill. And, just kind of seeing how long you can survive was a decent way to just kill time. I remember playing, Kino der Toten on the original Black Ops and getting to, like, I don't know, round 70 or something, and then thinking I was hot shit. It's just an experience that's kind of unlike other zombie games, and it's unlike anything else that Call of Duty offers, and I like it. It's really good wave survival, and as you progress through the maps, you get upgrades. You can upgrade all your weapons. You can get perks that make it where you take more damage or revive your team faster, that sort of thing. I think at this point we all know Nazi zombies, and so like it's more of the same, but it's good what's there. I'm just disappointed that the game only launched with one map, Die Maschine. I am, however, pleased that Die Maschine is actually kind of a reskin of an old map, Nacht der Untoten from World at War, and that map was actually really small, and you couldn't really leave the little building you were in. So this is kind of the whole, like, now you can leave the building, you can go explore the surrounding area, and you can kind of see, like, how the zombie, like, I guess, outbreak kind of happened in the first place. And so it's interesting to get a lot more backstory for the map. This time around with zombies, they've also launched with things, like, you can create a class, so you can start out right away with whatever gun you want. The gun does get progressively weaker as the rounds go by, but you can upgrade it, if you want to stick with that weapon from the very beginning. You can upgrade it. There's a ton of different upgrades. Like, you can upgrade the tier of your weapon from 1 through 5. Tier 5 is legendary, and that's the best, and your weapons will do the most damage if they're tier 5. Tier 1 is the worst, and that's what you start with. So yeah, it's just an interesting way to look at it, because it's another layer of customization that they added on, to also being able to pack a punch weapons, get perks, that kind of thing. And then you can also buy like armor, so you can even take a little bit more damage. The map is filled with a ton of Easter eggs and things to discover. You can get free wonder weapons, free tier upgrades. There's a whole ton to figure out in this map, and it is one of the most interesting zombie maps I have ever played, but at the same time, it's one of the easiest zombie maps I've ever played, so it makes going for those Dark Ops, round 100 challenges actually not that bad, and especially because also in this game you start with field upgrades, so that basically, you start with field upgrades that basically give you buffs to your character. So, like, you have one that basically heals your teammates, and when you fully upgrade it, you can, revive down teammates, even if you're not next to them, which is a pretty amazing ability. And then you also have, like, one called Aether Shroud, which is kind of like a panic button. You get surrounded, you pop Aether Shroud, and then, like, you're basically immortal for, like, 10 seconds or something, and it also, like, kind of warps you out of the area, so you can get away. And then, you have Ring of Fire, that basically just increases your damage per second. You have, like a Frost Aura and an Energy Mine. Those ones aren't too great. I think the three best are easily the Healing Aura, the Aether Shroud, and the Ring of Fire. I'm also kind of disappointed that, like, with Season 1 of the Battle Pass, nothing was really released for zombies, like, at all. They added, like, a holiday kind of event, but not much other than that. And, as a longtime Zombies player, that is a little bit disappointing. It is what it is, and I understand why it's that way, but sometimes you just can't help but feel disappointed. There's also another mode, like they're integrating the game with Call of Duty Warzone, which is kind of the Battle Royale thing. Me, personally, I've never been super into Battle Royale games, so I've only played it a little bit here and there with some friends. I prefer kind of the traditional Call of Duty experience. And that is what you'll get with Cold War. You get a lot of the traditional Call of Duty experience, but it can be very buggy at times, and I think it was really frustrating me just getting disconnected a lot here, like in zombies and in multiplayer and that kind of thing, and like I think that the game could use more polishing, like even now a month after release. There's still some things to iron out. It's a good Call of Duty, but it could have been a great Call of Duty if they had just ironed out some bugs. As for the campaign is present, and from what I gather, there are choices that you can make that, have different endings and that kind of thing, which is, nothing new. Black Ops 2 did that kind of thing as well, and so I think the campaign is probably going to be pretty decent if you're into, the story of, Call of Duty and that kind of thing. To me, personally, I don't really care. No Call of Duty has really had a great story to me, and it's just not what I buy the game for. For me, the game is all about the multiplayer experience. But if you are into, those big budget, AAA game thrills, and you just kind of want to relax, the campaign mode will deliver those. And that about sums up my review, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to be sure to like and subscribe if you like the video. It keeps me motivated to keep making more. This game is good, but there are some problems that keep it from being great. Chief among them is the bugs, connection issues, general balancing in multiplayer, and the skill-based matchmaking. So with all that said, I'm going to have to give this game probably around a 7.8. That would go up if they ever added a ranked mode and removed the skill-based matchmaking, from public lobbies. Thank you so much for watching.